Hi everyone, I'm Dennis, the blue collar worker, and right, this is not going to be my usual sort of video because there's no jokes, no winding people up, no politics for the sakes of politics. Tonight, I want to talk about a young man called Henry Nowak. And before we go any further, I want to be very clear. Much of what I'm going to discuss comes directly from court documents, sentencing remarks, statement made by Henry's family, and official reporting. Where something is still under investigation, I'll say so. Where something's opinion, my opinion, I will say so. Because there is enough emotion surrounding this case already without adding rumours to it. So, let's start this right. I watched the footage, what happened to Henry Nowak. So because of that, I want to start with talking to the family. I am so sorry. The pain I felt watching it. Cannot possibly allow me to comprehend. I lost my own mother when I was 8 years old. She committed suicide. So I get part of your pain. But there's a lot more in yours that wasn't in mine. So I'm hoping that what I have to say now will do him justice, because I've not tried to speak the news. I've waited until I have proper information and speak only proper information, and that's meant to be giving meant to be giving him the most respect I can possibly give. And to you, the family. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Now, Henry Nowak was 18 years old. 18. Let that sink in for a second. He was studying accountancy at university. The first member of his family to go to university. You guys must have been so proud. Oh, so proud. According to the sentencing, the judge said he was a hard-working, ambitious, principled, and had his whole future ahead of him. That future was stolen from him. On the evening of 3rd of December 2025, last year, Henry did something millions of young people have done. He went out. He went to a shop, went to a pub, spent time with friends. Nothing unusual, nothing remarkable. Just a young man enjoying an ordinary evening. The CCTV timeline paints a very ordinary picture. He leaves his accommodation, stops at a convenience store, heads to the pub. Later that night, he begins walking home. And this is where the story changes. Because according to the court, Henry was walking home alone. He was unarmed, wasn't drunk. His blood alcohol level was below the legal driving limit even. He was simply making his way back to his accommodation. Then came what the judge described as a chance meeting. A chance meeting with a man named Vikram Digwa. Now I want to stay very close to what the court found here because there are enough people shouting opinions already. According to the judge, Henry noticed a large dagger being openly carried. In some format, he asked Digwa if he was a bad man, and Digwa replied that he was. And in some format that this played out, the judge found that Digwa then snatched Henry's phone. What happened in the next few moments was only witnessed by those two men. But what we do know is that a confrontation followed. And what we know after that is beyond dispute. A jury heard the evidence. A jury reached its verdict. And that jury found Vikram Digwa guilty of murder. According to the sentencing remarks, Digwa drew a dagger from its sheath and stabbed Henry. The fatal wound caused catastrophic internal bleeding. The judge found that Henry was stabbed multiple times. He also found that Henry desperately tried to get away. Think about that for a moment. An 18-year-old lad trying to escape, trying to survive, trying to get home. And he never got there. Now, something else appears again and again throughout the sentencing remarks. Lies. The judge repeatedly refers to the lies. Lies told to police, lies told to the family, lies told during the investigation. The judge rejected claims that Henry had made racist remarks. Now a bit where I say my opinion. People bring up the term "you're being racist" so much these days. It's used to get people in trouble now. It's used to get compensation from certain people. It's used to win an argument. It's used so much by people who aren't receiving racism. I'm not knocking those that do, I'm saying a lot that don't. That's an opinion. Back to the point. The jury rejected the defence case. Absolutely. And the judge was absolutely clear about where the responsibility lay. His words were simple. To quote, "You, Vikram Digwa, murdered him." Don't get clearer than that. No ambiguity, no confusion, no excuses. Now this is where the consequences begin to spread. Because the murder didn't just destroy Henry's future, it devastated his family, his father, his mother, sister, brothers and sisters, people whose lives will never be the same again. And it didn't stop there. According to the sentencing remarks, Digwe's actions also dragged members of his own family into the aftermath. His mother, his father, his brother. Questions remain there, and some legal matters may still have further developments. We simply do not know yet where all of those roads lead. And there is an important point. There are things we know, there are things we do not yet know, and we should be honest about the difference. Because if there's one thing this case does not need, it is more noise. Now, for most murder cases, the story ends with the conviction. The killer is convicted, the sentence is passed. The public moves on. Family just goes to grieve. But that didn't happen here. Sorry, I'm getting really emotional. I'm struggling with this. Questions were beginning to emerge. Questions that would lead to public anger. Questions that would lead to protests. Questions that would lead eventually. Questions that would eventually become a national conversation. Questions that are still being investigated today. And that's where part 2 begins. But before we get there, I want to leave you with this. Before the politics, before the arguments, before the headlines, before the social media posts, there was a young man called Henry Nowak. 18 years old, a son, a brother, a friend, a student, a future. And he never made it home. God bless his family. God bless his family. So I'm going to see you in part 2.